Hey, welcome to Guitar Knobs, the guitars, gear, noise, and nonsense podcast, hosted today by these knobs.
Tony Dudzik, Pick Guardian.
Hey everybody, it's me, Todd Novak. Welcome to the Guitar Knobs podcast. We are so thrilled to death that you are listening to our show.
Thrill.
Yes, you didn't do the thing. Thank you. We've got a great show for you tonight. We have a very special guest, a pedal builder from Delaware. Does everybody know where Delaware is?
Yes,
I do.
I do now.
Yes.
It's Mid-Atlantic State.
Kind of.
He's a pedal peddler.
He is a pedal peddler, yes. Go ahead and identify yourself, pedal peddler.
My name is John, and I'm with Voltic Electronic Devices.
Oh, my goodness. Thank you, John, from Voltic Electronic Devices, for jumping in with us.
Where can people go to see the wares that you pedal?
Yep.
People can go to our website, which is volticelectronicdevices.com, or check us out on Instagram at Voltic Electronic Devices.
Awesome. We got a lot to talk about, and we got some great devices in front of us, as mentioned. Mm-hmm. So strap in. Hope you are enjoying your day, or you are about to enjoy your day if you're driving in the AM traffic.
That's right. All the songs from the British invasion.
Yes. From the Mid-Atlantic. All right. We got a couple of announcements, and they are nothing. Let's get on with the show.
Beep, 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 beep.
We're going to find out what's going on in our music worlds this week. Really, we don't. We just,
Didn't have anything.
It's not much.
Yeah.
So we're going to find out what's going on in music world this week. Like I just mentioned, we're going to start off with Tanya over here, and then we're going to check in with John.
Well, this weekend, I watched a very good documentary, an excellent documentary, if you will. It's called It All Begins with a Song. And it is a documentary on Nashville songwriters. And even if you don't like country music, I would say the largest gathering of songwriters live in Nashville, Tennessee. And they write songs for all kinds of people. And, Nashville became kind of the collection point for that because these songwriters would have ideas of songs and stuff, and they would give them to famous artists as they were touring through Nashville. And so basically the industry started up there, specifically the country music industry, but that's kind of expanded now. And, they've kind of absorbed some of the stylings of rock and different things like that. And what's cool about this documentary is you recognize a couple of the names, like Brad Paisley's on there, Mac Davis is on there, but there's all these other folks that write these songs. And one guy I think said he had 20 number one hits. And I mean, it's just like and nobody knows this guy. They know the artist that recorded them. But it's just super cool, and there's a really touching moment in there, and I wasn't familiar with this song, but it was the songwriter said that she heard she listened to NPR, and this story came on about this guy whose son was killed in Afghanistan, and he wanted to get permission from the I guess Department of Defense or whoever does the, like Arlington Cemetery kind of thing. And he wanted to go and buy flags for every grave that was there. And the story went on. And the reporter asked the father, well, that's nice that you want to do that. How else do you remember your son? He says, I drive his truck. His son's pickup truck. And it just got, got me. And, so they go into the story, and they're interviewing the father, and then there's a knock on the door, and the songwriter and, the two songwriters show up, and he knows who they are, and they sing this song, and he's just
my gosh,
he's like
a mess.
weeping.
Just a mess.
And it was a real touching moment. But
well, thanks for blowing it for everybody.
Well, you have to watch it.
but Christmas. Now I don't. And I'd be there's the thing.
Well, that's not the only part of it.
It's like seeing postcards of Hawaii your entire life and then going there and being like, yep.
There it is. Yeah, it looks just like that.
Yep.
Yeah, there's a palm. Oh, coconut. Yeah, I saw that. Well, anyhow, but it's a really good story, and the interviews with these folks, and like I said, names that you don't even recognize unless you go on the albums and read written by so and so.
Right.
But it was really cool. So it's right now. I saw
Like
it
Johnny
on
Cash.
Well, Johnny Cash recorded some stuff that other people wrote, namely Mac Davis.
Yeah.
He wrote "In the Ghetto." That song.
I'm familiar.
And Mac Davis.
I like the Johnny. You know, I like the Johnny Cash.
Yeah, I know. Well,
Yeah.
there's really cool segments, and the thing I really liked was seeing the writers play the songs that were famous songs.
Sure.
And just the way that they do it and the way they phrase things and different things like that. So it was really cool. So it's on Prime right now. If you have Prime, I'm sure you can find it other places, but definitely worth. I think it's an hour and 20 or an hour and a half. Definitely worth watching.
Yeah, sounds good, man. I appreciate that. Let's see, John, what's going on in your music world this week that doesn't involve building pedals?
Oh man, that's a tough question. This past week, a lot of live music in Delaware. I got to play Dead Fest, which is kind of a yearly thing that we do out here. About 2,300 people showed up. It's about 50 musicians that
Whoa.
alternate bands every single song. So it's a pretty wild night.
What? It's called Dead Fest?
Yeah. So it's all like songs Grateful Dead either wrote or would cover. Probably do about 35 songs.
Wow.
Yeah, it's a really, really cool time. It's a fundraiser for one of the state parks up over here.
Nice. That's pretty cool.
Brandywine, Red Clay Lines.
Wow.
That's really cool.
Yeah, very, very nice. So what song did you play?
I played Scarlet Fire, Scarlet Begonias, Into Fire on the Mountain, which is the famous Cornell version. I think it was 1977. And then also did Eyes of the World.
Interesting. I got to be honest.
Yeah, it's a couple good ones.
I couldn't tell you a Grateful Dead song if it kicked me in the teeth.
Really?
Nope.
Hey, that's all right, man.
Yeah.
We'll fix it.
World needs ditch diggers.
I mean,
too.
I remember Touch of Grey because it was a video, but that was it.
Yeah.
Huh.
But that's really cool. I will actually go and listen to that on the way home. I will give that a listen.
Yeah.
Because I wrote it down. And I like to be familiar with things. I like to know things. Like everybody should know what's in the Eastern Seaboard. And all that
Exactly. What's New England? What's Mid-Atlantic?
Yeah, just like, well, if the people in the UK can't tell the difference between, now I'm not saying everybody, stop, don't put your rocks down. Put your rocks down.
Rocksfortodd.com.
We just did, on the last episode, we had a little chat about that, and we had an actual living, breathing person from UK say, I don't know the difference. So, people can be off to,
And they also say aluminium.
Which is incorrect. Anyhow, so that's really cool. And now is that you're playing that on? Do you do your own version of that, or is it like do you play it pretty true?
It's kind of a mix. I mean, it's made for folks to kind of jam each other and have a good time.
Mm-hmm.
So kind of depends on the other musicians that are in the song, like how close to the recording you want to go.
Did you use your pedals?
The band that I were in hung pretty loose.
Did you use your own pedals?
So there's pre-designated pedal boards and amps. So one of my pedals was on one of the boards.
Cool. Nice.
Yeah.
Good.
We have a little Strata Blaster that we make.
Nice. Well, that's super cool. I don't think we have anything like that around here. One every song is a different band. That's kind of unique, I think.
It's pretty wild.
Yeah, that's a long day, I imagine.
Lots of set changes.
About 5 hours.
Yeah. Indeed.
Oh, that's
all right,
cool.
yeah.
How about you, Todd? What's going on in your music world this week?
Well, I didn't have much of one because I was showing my daughter this multi-tool.
Ah,
What? And I was explaining to her, like, look, you can unfold it, and here's a pair of pliers, and then to show her all the other things. And I said, now you got to be real careful with this one, because you can cut a tree limb with this.
Yeah.
Because it has teeth going one way
Yeah.
in one row, and it has another. It's like shark teeth.
Yeah.
And then in the other row, it had teeth going the other way.
Cuts on the push and the pull.
Oh my goodness! And I said, you got to be really careful with this, because when you
Because I see a Band-Aid on your thumb.
and you fold it down, and when I did, I basically clipped my own cigar, and I was like, ouch!
Oh, luckily it was your thumb,
Yeah. Well, it's a bummer.
not your other cigar.
It was like, yes. Hey, Briss, anybody? But it's dead in the middle of my thumb, so it's like anything I touch.
Oh, my
It's so
God.
dumb. So I was off the guitar for a bit of time here, but
You seem to be having some issues with cuts and tools
my
and
hand
surgeries.
is kind of taking a beating as of late.
Wow.
So anyhow, so that was that. And then beyond that, I just been trying to get some. I actually just got a brand new record, so I was record hunting. I got a couple of them when I was looking. I got the Dave Brubeck Octet featuring Paul Desmond, Cal Jader, David Van Crete, and Dick Collins. This is from 1959, and the coolest part is
That's super cool.
I think it's a single owner, because this thing is absolutely pristine, and it's clear red vinyl from 59. I'm pretty sure it's 59.
Wow.
Anyways, so that came in the mail, and got a
Todd
couple other things.
Todd bought me a pristine Live at Budokan cheap trick.
Yes, with the booklet.
With the booklet. And this thing is, again, it's one of the things that look like it's never been played.
Yeah.
Which is super, super cool.
Yeah.
So, and
I was excited.
I'd got a new turntable a couple of episodes ago. We talked about that. And now I'm anxious I had this album. I mean,
figured
it was
you did.
it was an early, I think it came out, in 79?
No, 78.
78.
Yeah, you were way off. So anyways.
Damn.
But anyway.
There is just no pleasing you, is there?
No, there isn't. You know what you can't use to plug your turntable into speakers?
I don't
Tour
know.
Gear Designs patch cables. They won't work. But if you've got some pedals and a board and a power supply, and then get your Tour Gear Designs patch cables and plug them all in.
Where do you get these Tour Gear Design patch cables?
TourGearDesigns.com. And when you go load up your basket,
And you will load it up.
you're going to save 15% if, and only if, you type in the words "the guitar knobs." 15%.
That's incredible.
It is incredible, and they are incredible pieces of gear. So go do yourself a favor, get some of those Tour Gear Designs patch cables, and then tell us all about it. Tell us if you like it. We'd love to know.
We know you're
We
going to
know you're
like
gonna.
it. Come on.
Yes. So anyways, thank you to Tour Gear Designs for sponsoring our Four on the Floor. Tony?
Let me get a little bit of this.
1, 2, 3. Four on the floor.
John from Voltic Electronic Devices. What is your Four on the Floor?
I've been absolutely agonizing over this for the past 12 hours. So my four on the floor. I think I'm going to start off with maybe the most controversial. That's going to be the Strymon Sunset. I feel like it doesn't get enough love. It's
That's a great pedal.
Yeah.
It is, right? I don't see it on anybody's pedal board though, except for Jason Mays from Working Class Music.
Yeah.
But for
When
those that
they
don't
were
know,
on the
it's like
show,
a
they
double-
sent that one to us, and I really enjoyed that.
Well, it's so cool, like during recording sessions, because you can like run it series or parallel. It's got the bright cap, and then you have like 3 options on each side, and they all sound different. They all sound great. So you have like the Klon, Tube Screamer, and Rangemaster, I think,
Yeah.
and then like a Barber distortion, a Rat, and a like a LPB1, a booster.
Yeah. Also known as
That's like
two-stage
my-
hard and JFET.
Ooh.
Yeah, there's the words we're looking for.
Yeah.
So I think that's number 1 for me. Number 2.
Well, before
is
you
a
go any
limited-
further, now
Yeah.
let's go back and
Okay.
what do you like about it? What's not to
Oh
like about it?
come on, man. So I like that you can change the routing. You can do like either side first, the distortion side first, or the overdrive side first. You can run them parallel if you want to, which you can get a bunch of like really interesting tones that way. So it's just really good for like recording sessions if you're trying to get different lead tones real quick or different rhythm tones really quick without having to like change an amp. And also just all the modes sound great. I think that Klon, I owned a KTR for a little while. I think that the Sunset Klon is one of the best, if not the best versions of it.
Interesting.
And then you get a bunch of other sounds also.
Yeah,
The Rad is awesome. The Rangemaster is awesome.
It's like kind of like an all-in-one distortion / overdrive.
Yes. Now, have you tried the Riverside?
I haven't tried the Riverside. I want to real bad though.
Yeah, I'd be curious. I mean, I wonder if people who have a Sunset naturally go for the overdrive, the Riverside, just because get them all right.
Yeah.
So these are brand new. They're $300. That's a lot of pedal for $300. And if you get them used, they're about around 200.
Yeah,
to the 200-ish area. So, I'd like to play around with one of those again. I need to see if I can find one hanging around somewhere.
it's got to be.
Yeah.
Somebody has one.
Let's see. What's number 2?
Number 2 is maybe one of my favorite Big Muffs. It's a Stomp Underfoot reverse logo. And he released it as Stomp Underfoot's another small pedal company. I think he's based out of Florida. And he just makes only does Big Muffs. So he really has the voicings and stuff down. And this was a limited run that he did maybe like 5 or 6 months back that I just happened to see when I was on my lunch break. Ordered it, and it sounds amazing. It's pretty low gain, so it does like the singing David Gilmour thing really nice. And I feel like it also has like the best tone control. It's like not super peaky, but still has like the familiar Big Muff mid scoop.
Yeah. Now,
Yeah.
what is this one? You said it's a reverse logo. So what is this one based off of? Is this like a Civil War? Is it like a green?
So the reverse logo is before that. I believe it's a version 6. So it's like right after the op amp Big Muff, like what Billy Corgan used, and then right before all the Russian stuff.
I see. Okay. I'm looking for a image of this right now, and I cannot find one. But that's okay. We'll imagine it with our heads. Now, the Big Muff world is a big, wide, woolly one. What drew you to that particular sound? The specific one that you got.
The specific one that I just got, I was just I was just really interested at the time in supporting another small builder. And the kind of, I guess the ad copy used a lot of the buzzwords that I like to see, which is like low gain, singing sustain. Sometimes Big Muffs can sound too aggressive, and they're just kind of like blown out, and you can't hear all the notes like in a chord, which is not my favorite sort of sound personally. And this one being lower gain was kind of like a lot nicer for rhythm stuff. In addition to doing all the great Gilmour-y kind of lead tones.
I see. We did get a confirmation of what it looks like, just in case anybody
Pretty
cares.
sick, right?
Yeah. Dig it. Oh, that was I heard myself back there. Okay, cool. What's number 3?
Number 3, I think it's going to be the Jam Delay Llama Extreme.
Ooh, yeah.
Yep.
I had the.
I think it's probably
the original Delay Llama.
One of the like the 125B sized.
No, it was.
Or is it one of the bigger ones with tap tempo?
It was a big box, but only had the one. Did it have one? No, it had 2. Yeah, it had the tap tempo on it. I'm trying to find the delay. Yeah, and it had the stripy bits across it, like the brush strokes. Yeah, that's the one that I had. So okay, that is a beautiful sounding delay. I mean, it's lush without being ridiculous. It just feels rich. That was my experience. What's
totally.
yours?
I think that it's maybe the best Bucket Brigade analog delay being made today. I'm one of those people that has my first vintage pedal that I bought was a Electro-Harmonix Memory Man with the 3-prong cord.
Mm-hmm.
And just kind of like most people that have those, kind of scared of bringing it out to bar gigs. And I've kind of gone through a lot of delay pedals trying to get that sound, and the Delay Llama does it the best.
Yeah, it really is. I think that maybe the best way that I can, it feels hi-fi. I don't know how else to explain that. It just felt different. It felt like, oh, these are velvet pants I'm wearing now.
Yeah, it does like that percussive thing that a good Memory Man does.
Yeah. Good pedal. Excellent pedal.
And if you're interested in hearing more about jam pedals,
Yes.
you can go back to episode number 137.
Wow. That was a long time
That
ago.
was a long time ago. I think
Yeah.
2019, was it?
Yeah.
No, maybe even earlier.
They
than
sent
that.
us a whole box of pedals and said we could give them all away.
Yep.
So we
That's awesome.
yeah.
They were. It
was great.
Yeah, I liked
a great guess.
every pedal that they sent.
Yep. Okay, number 4.
Number 4 is a pedal that I just got from my buddy's music shop, and it is an old Univox foot phaser.
Ooh. We're gonna look foot phaser. Is that? I'm gonna try the.
It might be spelled with a Z instead of an S.
Yeah, that's what I was like, maybe that's not a. I'm gonna just try Univox foot and see what happens. Come on, internet. Oh, nothing. Well, tell us about it.
Sure. So it's just a one knob phaser, from the 70s, I believe.
Okay.
And it's real cool. It's got the knob on the side, so you can kind of control the rate with your foot if you want to. I guess hence the foot moniker. And sounds great. It goes really, really slow. Is good for like the country phaser sound, but can also do like the super fast or faster, like Incubus kind of thing.
Yeah.
I get pretty crazy.
Now, is that the micro phaser, or is it actually called the? Because this one has a foot on it that we found, but it says Univox.
Is it black?
Yep.
It's got a foot
Yeah,
on
probably micro phaser then.
Everything checks out.
it. With the Z, F-A-Z-E-R.
Yes, we're in business.
Oh,
Interesting. So yeah, I have not seen that pedal before.
Yeah, that's a
I'm
new
not
one.
familiar with that one. So that must be.
there's a whole foot series that is awesome.
Oh,
Definitely check them out.
oh, we'll have to check that out. Yeah, for sure. That's actually pretty. Not very expensive. It looks like that one.
Yeah, for a vintage pedal. It's
So
not,
that was $125. That seems low. That seems
Yeah.
wrong. Really?
Yeah, I got mine for $100, and I got the Foot Fuzz, which is basically like a Univox, like the Univox version of maybe like a Super Fuzz.
Yeah. Oh, there's
that was
all
like
three of them together.
$100.
There's the noise clamp, the Unicomp, the micro phaser. Oh, they did a whole bunch of these. How have I not seen this? That's crazy. See,
more you know,
I
man.
love that. That's why we do this. Mm-hmm. Man, oh man. Oh, so the micro phaser is a little bit smaller than the, and it looks like it has like a stepped enclosure. At least this one does.
Yeah, it's like a little bit of a little wedge-esque.
Yes. Yeah, that's neat. Oh, yeah. So check those out, everybody. If you see one of those laying around, grab it. Excellent. Well, we got we could see. That's why we do this. We have all kinds of. We're looking them up. We're like, what's that? It's the best. I love this stuff.
It's the best.
Thank you for sharing some interesting pedals that we're not as familiar with. I know.
Oh, of course.
Josh got us sitting in his big leather chair, just shaking his head back and forth at us, like
You turds.
you
We're
turd.
jacking up the prices, boys. Let's go.
Yeah. Hey, quick, go make me a version of that. Yeah.
Yes.
All right. Well, let's get into your pedals, shall we? We've talked plenty about other people's pedals. We're here to talk about your pedals. In front of us is
R.
Well, I'm getting to the R. I'm saying, okay, collectively it's ours, but I was only holding one. So, anyways, in front of us is the DTF, or in front of us are the DTF. How's that?
I like that better. You sound like you're from the Midwest now.
We have the DTF. I'm holding that one right now. I got to be honest. The very first thing I said is, I applaud your choice of baby blue with royal blue knobs. That is not a combo I think I've seen maybe ever. That's the small things.
Yeah. I've been getting into kind of it's not exactly monochrome, but, monochrome-esque, putting like same colors, different shades on top of each other.
Yeah. It works. It looks good. It differentiated it. You could have put black knobs on there, but then,
Then Todd wouldn't go on and on about it.
Wouldn't go on and on about it. I like it. It's a little, and they're little bitty witch hats, which is kind of neat too. I like it.
All right.
Good choice. Well, I mean, I know that those are just the color of the knobs, and we have a big giant device here that does all kinds of great things. So you gave us the DTF and the Awkward Mustache to play with, and we had a lot of fun doing it. Mm-hmm. And if you want to see what these look like and the unboxing, you can hop on over to Instagram and check out what we did with that. Why don't you tell us about the DTF first? Then we're going to get into understanding who John is a little bit better. And then we'll see ourselves out with the Awkward Mustache. How about that?
Sure, that sounds great.
Perfect. What was the genesis for the DTF?
That's a good question. So I guess the genesis for the DTF was I had a friend that had recently, like you guys, just enjoy sitting around jawing about pedals. My friends out here in Delaware and I enjoy sitting around jawing about pedals. And when one of us gets a new thing, we all kind of congregate and decide if it's cool or not. And so one of my friends had... Don't we all do this?
Yes.
A typical Friday night.
Yeah. And so one of my friends had recently gotten the Land Devices HP2, which is their version of a harmonic percolator, and we were playing around with it. I thought it sounded great and decided to discover its origins. And there's tons of harmonic percolator schematics online, and so I found one that looked like it would work. Made it, and that was the version 1 of the DTF.
Okay. So it is a harmonic percolator sort of skeleton.
Exactly. Yeah.
I know it has a lot of options, which we're going to get into, but I thank you for clarifying that. So what you decided to take it in a few different directions. Tell us about that.
Yeah. So started off with a harmonic percolator. When I was going through the first revision for this, it was about the same time that JHS was releasing the limited edition Rangemaster that they did. Mm-hmm. And so one of the first mods that I did too was giving it a Rangemaster mode, which is basically if you're looking at the pedal on the right side, there's a normal switch and a treble switch. So normal is stock harmonic percolator value, and then treble gives you the Rangemaster input cap value. And so it's going to cut out a lot of bass and kind of let you cut through the mix. Great if you have like a dirty amp or if your guitar is especially dark. And then, like a lot of folks do, I did a clipping diode selector. And so again, normal is kind of stock harmonic percolator. Open is no clipping diode, so it's going to be the most amp-like response. And then custom is basically whatever cool germanium clipping diodes that I have on hand. They're hand matched. Mm-hmm. And they kind of give you cool, like, faux octavy kind of textures. It's always going to be, like, super compressed.
Yes.
Yeah, and again, like, really great for dirty amps, for kind of, like, taming that high end.
Yeah. Just be aware, ladies and gentlemen, if you get this and you're running hot on the custom, check the volume before you throw it over into open.
Yeah,
It's a substantial boost.
definitely do that.
Oh yes, I think we both
Whoa,
found
what does this do? Whoa!
we found out the wrong way. both of us.
Sorry, boys.
That's all right. It's only speakers.
Yeah.
They can be reconed.
Well, this week I went speaker shopping. No, it's not that bad.
but yeah,
It's
so
not going to
because-
ruin anything. It's just going to, give you quite a shock.
Yes.
Yeah.
If the kids are sleeping or the
They won't be.
cat is laying on the
Yes.
top of the amp, it won't be for long.
Yeah. Now, so you've got your foundation. Then you've got those three options, or two options on each side, and then on the left or on the right hand side, you're throwing two more things into the mix, creating. I don't know what the math is on the number of possibilities there, but I feel like it's kind of high.
We're definitely in the hundreds.
Yes,
Hundreds of options.
hundreds. So what's on the right hand side?
On the right-hand side of the DTF is our input cap selector. And so normal is basically going to be like a straight kind of amp sound. It's going to just attenuate the lowest of the low bass. And then treble is going to be range master mode. Mm-hmm. And so that's going to cut out a ton of your bass, give you like a nice, bright, sparkly sound. If you have it, and what I like to do, if you have it like in treble mode and then you have the pre-cranked, it's going to be the fuzziest that it can be and kind of give you those the really clanky, like shellac kind of sounds if you're into that. Mm-hmm. But it'll also do like, if you're on the neck pickup, it'll also do like the Stevie Ray Vaughan thing. Buddy Blues did a really, really great video for us where he demonstrated that.
That's a lot of options. Yeah. Now let's talk about the pre and the post, because I think to me that was the money maker right there for at least for me.
Sure. So pre and post are basically, pre is a gain control. Schematically, it's the first thing that your signal hits. So if you have this first in your chain, it's basically doubling up what your guitar volume knob is doing. And so kind of how I like to run it is to have this first in chain, have the pre-cranked, and then have the volume knob on the guitar maybe at 3 or 4, and then raise or lower that if you need to for more volume, fuzz, etc. And then post is going to be just your master volume.
Right. Yes.
And I just named them that. I was playing a ton of PV amps at the time, and old PV amps always have pre and post instead of volume and gain.
Yeah.
So I thought it was cool.
Well, I to me that gave me a little bit of a different mentality on how to think about it, rather than just having volume and gain, because I wasn't just going, I'm going to add more gain. I thought about, okay, how would I use this if it was pre and post? Which some people may be going, hey, stupid, you think about it the same way. But for me, I said, oh, I'm gonna actually really consider how these things are balanced. And so I was tried a million different, ways hundreds of ways to do
Hundreds.
hundreds of ways to adjust that. Now we played these through, let's see, Tony played this through his hand-wired AC
15, yes.
and I
Heck yeah.
played mine through the AC 30 S1 and the Marshall Origin 50. Radically different.
Yes.
Radically. Now, I never said, hey, stupid, those are radically different amps. I know that. I know. But even more so when you're running this through them. I mean, they could not have reacted more differently, which was really interesting.
Yeah.
The Marshall.
What kind of guitars were you guys playing?
Oh, I actually did the whole gambit. I ran it through a single humbucker, which was on a solid body guitar, and I ran it through my Les Paul Special with 2 P90s.
And I used...
And...
Oh, sorry. Didn't mean to interrupt.
And a Telecaster. And actually, the Telecaster, I feel like it might have reacted the best to these.
Yeah, I was going to say that, but you beat me to it.
Yes.
Because I also used a Telecaster.
What did you use?
I used the Telecaster, and it's an oddball guitar, but it's got 2 mini humbuckers in it.
Oh, that must have sounded good.
It worked pretty well, but the Tele sounded better with it.
Yeah.
It reacted better to it, I think. The single coil pickups, in my humble opinion,
Yeah.
I think always do work a little bit better with fuzzes and overdrives and distortions.
Well, yeah, a little bit. Well, for fuzz, it does provide maybe a little bit more dynamic. For the humbuckers, for me, when I plugged this one in, especially to the Vox, it was like wool to the walls. Just instantly, and I was like, wow,
Wool to the walls.
different. Yes. So what did you base this on when you were building this? What were you testing it through?
So usually my test amp, I have a Tweed Deluxe style that I built. So usually that's the first amp that I go through, and then my main gigging amp is has been rather Dr. Z Maserati, which is kind of like a AC30, but it's a head cabinet, and it only has volume and then cut control.
That's what Tony has.
Mm-hmm.
He threatened to start running that in it for an AB, so when we get pedals, he has a better understanding of what they can do.
Yes.
And I'm going to hold him
It's
to
such
it.
a great amp.
I'm going to do it.
And what kind of guitar?
Usually a Telecaster is what I grab first. I have a parts Tele, and then I also have a Epiphone Elitist made in Japan Les Paul that has like really low output pickups in it.
Oh.
That Elitist
So usually
series.
those are my 2 test guitars.
I mean, I've owned several of the Elitists over the years, and if anybody finds one, just buy it. They're Japanese made. They are some of the best guitars I think I would say better than many things that are made today. That I had what did I have? I had a Riviera 12-string. I had a Les Paul. What was the Pink Burst one? That was the guy from Motley Crue.
The guy from Motley Crue?
Yeah, jeez, I can't think of his
Mars?
name. No, not Mick Mars. Maybe it wasn't Motley Crue. Come back to me on that one. I'll look it up.
Skid Row.
Oh my God, I can't think of his name. He played pink guitars all the time, though.
CC DeVille?
CC
CC
DeVille.
DeVille?
Oh my gosh, we were way off.
I know. I got that's in that same genre. But anyhow, yeah. There were a couple other ones that I own, and they're just fantastic guitars. I mean, I'd put them up. I'd put a Japanese Elitist up against.
There you go.
Any.
There's one on. I found one. An Epiphone Les Paul Elite 1996 to 98. It says
that's a pre-Elitist.
Pre-Elitist.
They used to call them Elite, and then there was about 4 or 5 years it was called the Elitist series.
I get it.
So, but
They tried to get me on that one.
they sucked you right in.
I would have gone for it.
Yeah, boy, that's a ridiculous amount of money for it too. But
That is. But it's, it
it-
says Japan on it, so,
Yeah.
It's funny. I mean,
And
if
you can't put a price on happiness.
No. If you had a friend in
Nor should
Japan, you could ship him all of your existing guitars to Japan, have him sell them for 3 times the price, and say, hey, but it's Japan. I got it from Japan.
Now, I don't know how the yen is weighing out against the dollar, but for
Pretty well, recent, from what I understand.
It was
for real. I know.
We had a distinct advantage. It was almost like a 30 or 35% discount.
Yeah.
And I know a lot of people were buying things from Japan, and even with shipping, the stuff was less than you could find it here, and a lot of things you can't find here.
Yeah, interesting.
So, well,
There we go.
There we go. How do we get off?
Yes. Let us tell you about how to spend your money, everybody.
Oh my God. Oh yeah, I had an SG. That's right.
Yeah.
I had one of those.
Well, yeah.
Keep rolling through there.
Anyways,
love SGs.
So you got so we were really interested in your guitar.
It's a great guitar, man. It gets confused all the time for.
Now, is that your main guitar?
Yeah, I usually bring out 2 guitars on gigs, and I'll bring out the Elitist Les Paul and then the Tele, and maybe like alternate. I do a lot of like 2 or 3 set gigs. So just alternate like every set or whatever.
Nice. Yeah, you got to have a backup
Yeah,
playing
yeah.
that much. Okay, so anyway, so the DTF, everybody.
What are we talking about?
We got really sidetracked.
Who's this guy?
We just get excited about anything that has to do with what we're talking about. So what else would you like to tell us about the DTF, which, by the way, means dual transistor fuzz? You weren't being cheeky. Or maybe you were.
A little slightly cheeky.
Yeah.
Cheeky. I didn't realize quite how funny it was to... Because usually my whole process, I'm a one person operation, and so I sell a bunch of pedals that like are not UV printed before I get them UV printed, kind of as a test to see if people like them. And so it was named the DTF for a long time, and I never saw the DTF on the enclosure because it was always, and I didn't realize quite how funny it was until I got in the UV prints, and it's
big in Jersey.
It's a looker.
Huh?
Yeah, they love it.
Yeah, it's interesting. So, okay, give us the wrapping reason to have this, man.
Sure. So I think that despite its name, the dual transistor fuzz, it really kind of functions more as a preamp. You can get a lot of really great boost sounds out of it. Works great as an overdrive, which is kind of how I'm using it mostly now. And then also does the blown out thing if you want to crank the pre and then have the master volume as loud as you'd like to have it.
There you go. There you go.
Yeah,
a lot of functionality.
So don't be scared of the name.
Maybe people might buy it just for the name. I mean, look, I would be. Anyways, there's people out there that will. Excellent. And as you may see in the Instagram post, these are all, you can see all the handiwork if you open it up there. Not a lot of people doing stuff with little, strip board stuff, but how about you're doing that? Tell us a little bit more about that.
Yeah, so I'm just I'm a big fan of the like the process of pedal building. For me, is kind of as important as the end thing that happens, which is selling the pedal to somebody.
Mm-hmm.
And I think it just kind of adds like an heirloom sort of quality to it. It's something that's like handmade very meticulously. It's going to last a long time. I try and use the highest quality parts that I can. I just want people to be able to enjoy it and feel like they're supporting somebody that's really into what they're doing, because I'm really into what I'm doing.
Well,
and I kind of started going this route.
Just that. I love that you said that, because ultimately that's what we are sourcing out. We're sourcing out people who are really passionate about doing the things that they're doing and building it and making, a connection with others from something that they care a lot about. That's what it all boils down to. Yes, there's money exchange.
Yeah.
But that's one of the reasons that we focus on smaller builders. And as I pointed out, it's not smaller builders. It's what is I say? Smaller volume builders. I think that's how I quoted it. Yes. So that's really cool. Let's find out a little bit, about the maker here. Did you just kind of tumble into electronics, or did you have a preclusion for that?
I tumbled pretty hard, I would say. Basically, this kind of all happened for me during COVID. Pre-COVID, I was a full-time gigging musician, and before that, I was in the Army band for 4.5 years. And so after kind of sitting on the couch for a couple months, my wife and I were talking, and we decided that maybe it'd be a good time to take advantage of the GI Bill and go back to school. So applied to one place, University of the Arts up in Philadelphia, RIP, and luckily got accepted. And they had a really small audio electronics program. Just kind of needed an extra class one semester, and MJ was like, if you do the class, you'll be able to build yourself a distortion pedal by the end of it. And I thought that was pretty cool, and just kind of fell headfirst into it. I did a great internship during my final year, and as well as after graduating, with a guy named Jim Walton, who's one of the oldest amp repair techs up in Philadelphia. So I also do a lot of amp repair and gained a lot of really, really good knowledge from him. and got into this because I had a pedal repair that couldn't be fixed, and kind of just built the customer something, and he loved it.
What was the thing that couldn't be fixed?
It was a Dan Electro Cool Cat Fuzz.
Oh,
Are you familiar with that?
yes.
I remember those. Was that
Yeah.
the plastic box ones, or is that the metal housing?
The metal ones, isn't it?
I think it might have been metal housing actually,
Pretty sure.
but it's all it's all surface mount on the inside. It was basically a clone of a Frantone Peach Fuzz that they got a C&D over from Fran, and told the guy that couldn't fix it again because all surface mounts would be very challenging, and that I would try to build him something on strip board, and managed to find a schematic. Took me about 6 months, but knocked it out, and he ended up being very, very happy with it.
That's cool. And you probably learned an awful lot in the meantime.
Oh my God. I feel like you learn the most from mistakes. They hurt the most, but they help the most.
Yeah. Based on that 6 months time, but also, were you running into parts issues? Because I can't tell you how many people we've had on the show that have started their pedal building journey through COVID. They're like, I don't know what else to do, so I'm going to do this, and they all have brands, which is freaking cool.
Yeah, I feel I haven't really had any parts issues like for the Awkward Mustache kind of beginning. The dual transistor fuzz uses some new old stock parts that aren't made anymore. Mm-hmm. So I've been starting to have some issues with those, but trying to find workarounds.
Nice. Now, what is the most challenging thing that you find with actually creating circuits and doing the build?
So I guess my business is kind of or Voltic Electronic Devices is kind of like a two-part company. I do a lot of amp repair in addition to building guitar pedals. And so when I'm building pedals, that's kind of like my release from work. That's how I try to think about it. I'm only building pedals that I want. I don't have any that I'm like, oh man, I have to build another Awkward Mustache or I have to build another DTF. Like I really, really love this more than anything. So the hardest part is usually just finding transistors that are within spec.
That's the hardest part?
That's the hard. I love everything else.
Oh, that's cool. So you must have just been a fish to water when it came for like, okay, so how do I get I guess in the schematic, where things go and what alternatives you can use. You just that happened pretty smoothly, it sounds like.
Yeah, I feel like it. I just think of it like as being adult Legos.
Yeah.
Is what I tell people when they're like, oh man, I can't believe how nice the pedals look inside. And it's just like fancy, it's just fancy Lego.
Now,
every part has a place.
What are you using to build all this stuff out? Are you using a specific program or anything?
No, I'm not using it. I'm not using a program for anything. So basically, the layouts that I'm using, I'll find a schematic online for either the pedal that I'm trying to. Most of these pedals come initially from me having a pedal that I want really, really bad that I can't afford to buy. So the DTF is a harmonic percolator. The Awkward Mustache kind of started its life as a Frantone Peach Fuzz. And then we have a new pedal called the Smalls Fuzz, which is kind of based around the Sam Ash Fuzz box. And these are all things you can't find anymore. And so I usually start off by making a pretty straight up clone and then fixing the things that I think could be improved, whether that's changing out the tone control, adding gain stages before or after to kind of make the circuit more responsive, or just adding like fun options like clipping diodes or impact selectors.
Nice. Yeah, it's a good looking pedal too. I like the purple knobs on it. Yeah, I like the aesthetic.
Thank you.
Yell at me if you like, but I do. So you mentioned Army. Do you want to give any shouts on that?
Yeah, I mean, I think it was a great opportunity. I did 4.5 years to just about one contract 4 years is the average size contract. But got to play a lot of really great gigs. I got to play bass with Stanley Clark on stage, also playing bass. Oh my
goodness, are you kidding me?
Insane. Yeah, and got to live in a lot of cool places. We were out in Arizona and then Virginia. So got to see like other parts of the country that I probably would have never seen otherwise.
Wow.
And also let me go back to school during COVID and let my wife and I buy an awesome house in Delaware.
Fantastic.
So, yeah, 2 thumbs up.
Good experience. Well, we know there's lots of actual builders that have been involved in the military service, and we appreciate that. So your day job right now, is this your day job right now?
Yeah, this is the gig.
That's awesome.
I also, like I mentioned, I do a ton of amp repair. I believe I'm maybe the only person or one of 2 or 3 people in Delaware doing amp repair.
Wow.
So there's a ton of that, and I contract with my buddies. Just opened up a music store a couple months ago, Small's Music Shop, and I do a lot of their work for them also.
Small's Music Shop. Okay, so if you're traveling through the Delaware area, stop by Small's Music Shop. How's that?
Heck yeah.
All right, let's find out about this Awkward Mustache thing here. I gotta ask, where does the name come from?
The name comes from, I feel like there's a long tradition of Big Muff clones being given hair monikers.
Yes.
Right, we have the Gray Stash by Fuzz Rocious, the Peach Fuzz by Frantone. I'm struggling to think of any others right now, but I feel like two's enough. Two's enough to.
Two is a lot more than one.
Hell yeah. So Awkward Mustache was my humble contribution to that history.
Got it. So what's this? What is in effect the base of this?
So the base of this is the Dan Electro Cool Cat Fuzz or the Frantone Peach Fuzz.
Got it. Okay.
Yeah.
And this one's interesting because at least when I was explaining this during the unboxing, is that it's 3 op amps working together. You've also got some other trickery going on here. Let's go through the features.
Sure. So we have a level, tone, and fuzz control. This pedal is kind of famous. It was the first fuzz to use the LM386 chip, as far as I know, which is a power amp chip. You might also be familiar with it from, I believe, the Earthquaker Devices Acapulco Gold uses it, and maybe also the Eruptor. So it's pretty powerful. Lots of gain and lots of volume on tap. But also, I feel like I don't know if you guys felt this way, but playing chords, you can hear all the notes in the chord as opposed to like the more traditional op amp Big Muff kind of becomes a wall of mush, and it's better for like single note stuff.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, definitely there.
Yeah, and then we have a couple.
I would say much more so with the single coil and the P90s. My humbucker just it. Yeah, I mean,
I think that's typical. Of,
yeah.
Like we said earlier,
it was
coils.
Big and thick.
And chocolate.
Yes. Especially in the Vox. Like on the Marshall, I was like, hey, okay, I can get behind this, and I put it in the Vox, and I was like, holy macaroni. That was a lot of hair.
Yeah. I feel like it's got some good low gains tone too, which isn't always the case with pedals that are in the Big Muff family.
That is true. It does, especially if you're tweaking around with the knobs on the back, especially the defeat one, and then you are rolling off the fuzz and messing with the tone, it can get almost into overdrive territory.
Yeah. I feel like if you have, my favorite tone right now with it is to have the defeat mode on and the super mode on, because that way you get your mids back with the defeat switch, and then with the super switch on, it's going to cut out a lot of like your bass and smooth off the high end. And it kind of just becomes like the ultimate, to me, like the ultimate rock overdrive sound.
Yeah, for sure. those things all working together again. They don't all just make a noise and cancel each other out. It's like each of those switches does something, but the combination between the tone and the fuzz and those switches, I mean, you can be there for a long time and not have to move the knobs around much to get a lot of different sounds out of that.
Yeah.
Very cool. What was now, I don't know if the Super and Defeat were on the original, so forgive me if they are, but was that your doing or was that pre-existing?
Yeah, so the two switches are not on the original, but the Tone Defeat switch has kind of become a standard mod that a lot of builders offer.
Yeah.
I believe it was first introduced. Was it the V5 op amp definitely has a Tone Defeat. I'm not sure if there was one offered before that, but that's the big muff that I have.
Yeah,
and I really
had
like
one
that
with
option, so that's why
the tone. Was it the tone wick?
Yeah, that's the same thing, right?
Yeah. Basically, just defeats it.
Yeah.
Interesting.
And then the Super Switch mod came from the Super Tone Bender, which was Color Sound's clone of the Big Muff, except they had left out the two clipping diodes on the second gain stage and left them on the third gain stage, so you get a lot more bass in that circuit. And the original Phantom Peach Fuzz doesn't have any clipping diodes at all, so it's kind of like a reverse Super Switch, where when it's off, you have the most bass, and when it's on, it cuts your bass because you're adding in germanium clipping diodes.
Yeah. Both of these pedals can introduce an awful lot of bass, which you may need that, and it will equally cut out a lot of bass. I would say there's almost not as much sort of average ground in between, which kind of makes sense because, especially for a fuzz, like if you're in average ground and everything's average, then it kind of isn't doing the fuzzy bits.
Yeah. I would not describe them as being transparent.
No. But they are super fun, and you can make some big noise with them. That's for sure. Now, I will say I didn't try them running into each other, which probably was maybe a good idea. I don't know. Have you done that?
I don't think I have. I have them next to each other on my test board, but I don't think I've ever actually had them both on at the same time, which seems weird now that I'm saying it out loud.
Yeah. But maybe
I'll
you
get
made
back to you.
a conscious decision not to do that.
The power would be too great.
Yeah, for sure. Now, in what order do you like to run? If you have both of these on the board, which would you put first?
So I feel like the DTF, the dual transistor fuzz, is the most reactive to like how hard you're picking and where your volume knob is at on the guitar. And I'm a big volume knob twiddler when I'm playing gigs. So I would put the DTF first, and then have the Awkward Mustache. Mm-hmm. And I'm also really into like the J Mascis thing, which is like a range master into a big muff. So it also have like the DTF set to treble mode, probably treble and then open, so you have no clipping diodes, and then hit that hit that into a big muff.
That's where I had mine set. I had it on treble and open, and I think I had the pre at about 10 o'clock and the post. I think I had the post more like at almost like 1. So it was a little bit of a. At least that's where I landed last dialed it. So I know I started out before that, but that was a good, like, I think I landed in the overdrive-ish sound on that one. Now, you obviously have some other pedals that you are working on and or have to offer. Do you have new things in the works that you'd like to share with us?
Sure, yeah. So next month we are going to be releasing the Smalls Fuzz, which is a collaboration, again, with my friends at Smalls Music Shop in Wilmington, Delaware. And this is, again, despite being called a fuzz, it's more of an overdrive. based around the old Sam Ash Fuzz. We thought it would be fun because their store opened up on the same day that Sam Ash closed, completely unintentional.
We shouldn't laugh. We shouldn't laugh.
No, it's not.
It's okay.
It's very sad.
Yes.
It's sad.
Interesting.
So we just repurposed there was a Sam Ash Fuzz in the 90s and maybe also in the 70s or 80s. And so we just repurposed the schematic and made this for him. And it sounds really, really good.
Cool. What's the characteristics for it?
It's again like pretty touch sensitive, has like that very vintage, like rolled off high end sound. So if you're into like the Hives, it's really good. Like the Hives, the Strokes, any of those sorts of band, or if you're a Leslie West fan.
We're going to them next
Mountain.
week. They're coming right down here, right just a few feet away from us.
Where?
The Hives.
Heck yeah.
Oh, that's right.
That's
I
right.
did see that.
Wow, man, that place is gonna blow up. If it's even standing when they leave, I'll be surprised. Mm-hmm. So yeah, okay, so I get that. It's kind of like the oddly like the lo-fi drive sound.
Yeah.
Cool, man. And then are you're mostly staying in the drive territory? Is that's where you like to live?
Yeah, so like the whole like the process of building the pedals is really a big reason why I do. I love building on stripboard, and unfortunately, or not, strip doesn't really lend itself that well to like modulation pedals or time-based pedals, just because they have to be really really big in order to make all the traces and wire runs work. So I'm probably going to be sticking to boost, drive, and distortion pedals.
Okay, yeah. I mean, I love drive pedals. That's where I like to live. So I can understand why you'd want to live there too.
Yeah,
it's a good neighborhood.
Yeah, they're just I like them because they're just all different. They're like acoustic guitars or something. Which seems like a weird analogy to make.
That is a very
fretboard
weird
summit
analogy.
and it made sense. Well, you know, you pick up like 20 Martins, right, at the store, and they all feel totally different, even though they're all D18s.
Yes,
I
was just thinking of
like
looking
fuzz
at
pedals.
it. You know, it's like they'll look like a glass of milk to me. You know, like as different as a glass of milk. Oh dear. But you're right. Yes, they each have a very different tone and characteristic and feel and all that stuff. The little things.
Yeah.
So, as you're moving forward, please keep us abreast of any new developments that come out of your efforts. We'd love to continue to share that with our audience. And I'm really anxious to see like what are some of the other new things that you decide you're going to come up with.
Yeah, I'm excited to share them and let you guys know.
Excellent. Does anyone else have any questions? I guess not. I didn't. Nobody's.
Where is Maine on the continental United States map?
It's up.
Up. And, I do know that. Yes, it's
They've
up
got
and out.
lobster.
Yes, look for the rocks. That's all I know. All right, man. Well, we are going to check in with Tony right now.
Yes.
What you got, Tony?
Well, Todd, at this point of the show is a little game we like to play called Would You Rather?
Excellent.
This week's Would You Rather is kind of a mishmash. My new neighbor, Jim Davenport, started listening to
That's a
the
made-up
Guitar
name.
Knobs. No, it's his name. He just moved in.
All right.
Well, he moved in a couple of months ago. But,
Okay.
but we got to talking about that, and he texted over a couple of ideas for Would You Rathers. So I took his basic idea and massaged it a little bit, rolled it around like
Okay.
a nice dough ball,
Yes.
and try to tie it in with some of the things we had talked about today.
Okay.
So the theme here is the Delaware Dead Fest. Is that what it's called?
Yeah.
Delaware Dead Fest. So the Would You Rather involves some dead things.
Okay.
Now, you might be asking, what are these dead things? So
I wasn't, but I know you're going to tell me.
I was asking.
and many times these would you rathers are kind of the you pick the best of the two bad things.
Yes.
Oh, this is one of them.
Oh, perfect.
Okay, so we've all had this happen. Like you show up for a gig and maybe you got a guitar that has some problems, or maybe you got some pedals that got problems. But here you are. You show up, and the would you rather is: would you rather have a Strat that has 2 dead pickups
B.
and 2 missing strings, or
2 dead pickups and 2 missing strings. Which pickups are dead?
let's just say,
which
for the sake of
pickups?
argument, the bridge and the neck.
Okay.
Or would you rather have your pedal board, you power it up, and your favorite 2 pedals are dead? So your 2 options are a guitar that is malfunctioning,
Yes.
seriously malfunctioning,
Yes.
or a pedal board that is seriously malfunctioning.
Yes. Both are a few sandwiches short of a picnic.
A few sandwiches short of a picnic.
Yeah.
Huh, I've never heard that
Well, there you go.
phraseology before.
Yeah. You mind your phraseology. All right.
What's it gonna be?
Tony, go ahead.
Okay, I'm gonna go first. Gosh, neither one's a good situation,
No, they're both terrible.
and it's a big show, and you're gonna get noticed.
Yes.
It's the Delaware Dead Fest, for God's sake. What? What are you giggling at? I just saw that movie this weekend. Anyhow.
Okay.
So neither one of these is a good situation to be in.
No,
Just,
terrible.
I'm gonna say, out of the 2, Jim, why do you make us do this? Between the 2, I think I'll just figure out a way to do it without the pedals.
Okay.
I think I can, as long as I get the guitar tuned up and it holds okay.
Yeah.
I can work with a middle pickup. It's not the best sound on a Strat, but it works. Sort of.
Okay.
Kind of, sort of.
All right.
And I'll just kind of hang out in the background and,
Excellent.
do clunk, 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 clunks.
Yeah. Do that.
No leads. No
Yeah.
leads. Just clunk, clunks.
Yeah. The only problem is it's a SHS.
Oh.
Oh no!
Oh.
Come on, man.
Too bad. You already made your choice.
All right.
John, how about yourself?
My choice is also going with I think going with the guitar. I can deal with no pedals, but also let me say the position on the Strat is the best position.
You like the middle position.
I'm just gonna drop the mic at that. I love the middle position.
Huh.
Recent convert.
Interesting. Also the favorite of the KC Sunshine
Yeah.
Band.
Two people can't be wrong is all I'm saying.
Both K and C.
Yeah.
Exactly, 2 people can't be wrong.
Yeah. All right. Well, I'm definitely not gonna even look at that Strat. So I'm
Yep.
going with I can be down a couple pedals because I'll make the amp do the work if I have to.
Yeah. But you're going to play the Strat.
No, you didn't say it was a Strat. You just said there is a Strat.
Oh, you're fooling with the rules here.
I'm not.
Okay.
I mean,
I'll let it
I just
slide
assumed
this
that
time.
there was you either only had one or the other. So you're saying there's just a Strat.
There's a
and just
Strat with all
with-
6 strings
I
and
would
3
still-
functioning pickups.
Yeah, I'll take the 6 strings and
and 3 functioning pickups. Okay.
and then smash it. Okay.
Set it on fire like Jimmy.
Yes. We need to thank a few people, Tony.
Well, first I'd like to thank my neighbor Jim Davenport for doing that, for providing the idea, the genesis of this.
I'm on
Would you
one
rather?
because all I want to do was golly. Jim Neighbors. Yeah.
That's Jim
My
Neighbors.
neighbor Jim. Whatever. Sorry, John. I had it was a long day at work. I'm a little punchy. I'm sorry.
He is a little punchy.
That's all right. That's all right.
Most of the time.
Go ahead.
At this point of the show, Todd, there's a special group of people that we love to thank. These are our executive producers. Now, an executive producer helps make this show possible. How do you become one? Very easy. Head over to patreon.com/the Guitar Knobs. Check out a couple different levels in which you can participate, become a friend, a sponsor, a hero of the podcast.
This is where Jared always said, and then he goes, "That's right."
That's right. Yeah. Each level comes with some very nice thank you gifts and opportunities to win giveaways. Oh, yes, giveaways. More to come, folks. But in addition to all that great stuff, there's one thing more. What would that be, I wonder?
Your name right on the thing.
Your name right on the thing, and that's what I'm going to do right now. So special thanks to these executive producers: John Sebastian, Trevor Ellenberg, Cameron Pampas, James Bell, Eric Hemmer, Brett Hogarth, Gregory Randall, I can't talk tonight, Don Kloss, Ralph Gottschalk from Wonderful Audio Technology, what? Rusty Sneeden, Veteran Pedals, John Halverson, Rick Calhoun, Trevor Gunberg, Elad Mizrahi, Richard Kendall, James White, Justin Jones, John Esterly from Rare Effects, Anthony Lathrop, Stefan Lamb, Michael Senchuk, Ken Sayers, Darren Gregory, Tom Barazin, Michael Davenport. Hey, another Davenport.
Oh.
It's not the same Davenport, but it's another one.
Yes.
Eric Merrow and Plutone.
Excellent.
But wait, there's more, Todd, because there's a special group of executive producers. We call them our Granda Poobahs. And these fine folks are the creme de la creme, the top of the heap, the A number ones. They're just all around nice people. And they have a fez that they wear upon their head whilst listening to the podcast, or so I'm told. Mm-hmm. So special thanks to these grand poobahs: Anthony Gemalero, Billy Spitfire Unlimited, Bob Crouch, Brian Robinson, Cody Foster, David Kaminga, David Tyndall, Enrico Fernando, Fox Hill Studio, Hex Matos, Jack Cadian, James Pennington, John Williams, Jonathan Jerusik from 12th Hour Devices, LSJ Music Company, Matt Hart, Michael Van Zant, Michio Murakishi, Moon Guitars, Paul Von Eppinger, Sam Jett, Steve Keys, Tyler K.C. Rhines, Zach Oswald from Brandon Wow Pickups, Pedro Vasquez. Thank you, and thank you.
Thank you. Hey, everybody. We have enjoyed our time with you and with John. And John, where can people find the things that you are doing?
People can check us out at volticelectronicdevices.com or on Instagram at Voltic Electronic Devices.
All right. And Tony, where can people find you?
Go over to pickguardian.com. Check out some of the things that I do. What do? I make custom pick guards. How do you get one? You get a hold of me, and you send me some money. And you maybe send me your guard, and I make a duplicate of it, or I make something totally custom.
Yes. You've got all the materials that people don't have.
I have all the materials.
Yes. You're like Arby's. You has
We have the materials.
the guards.
So, yeah, shoot me an email. Let me know what you're trying to do. It's your opportunity to make your guitar even more yours.
Yes. I'm going to get paid for that someday. You can shoot me a DM at the guitar. No, just wait. You can shoot me a DM at Guitar Knobs on Instagram. Love to hear from you. Give us a would you rather. Think you could do better than this one? I bet you can. Maybe. I don't know. Maybe you can't. Is that a challenge? You like challenges?
I'm
Send us a
throwing
would you
down
rather.
the gauntlet.
And also...
what about this band I hear called the Valentinos?
Well, I don't know who they are, but you can talk to the Valentinos via me, and you can listen to them on your way home from work. Don't listen to, if you listen to it at work, you're just going to wind up, you can skip the coffee altogether and you'll be like, yeah, I'm ready. Yeah, maybe you need that in the morning. That's okay too. We need to say a ginormous thank you to John from Voltic Electronic Devices for letting us play around with these beautiful little pedals and for making some great stuff for all of the rest of everybody else out there. Thank you so much, John.
Oh, thank you, guys. This was so much fun.
Good. We had some good times with you. A few years back from now, just flip through that scrapbook that you don't have and go, oh, I remember that. And, that'll be great.
You better believe it.
All right. Hey, everybody, have a fantastic Guitar Week and subscribe.
I've never seen him.
Okay. Huh. Well,
But he's about.
He is about. Okay.
He's about.
He's what?
About 6 feet tall.
Okay. So we just learned a little bit of slang from What does someone from Delaware call themselves? The Delawarean? But it seems like it would be like the beautiful rocky coast of Maine. It's not like that, is it? Tony's looking at me like, what?
What are you talking about?
I don't
Maine
know,
is
that's
all the
just-
way up there.
I know. Delaware's up there, too.
Delaware's straight across.
I can go lower if you want.
Lower would be better.
How about this? I
So 2 out of
haven't
3
been
ain't
there.
bad.
And there's it's not like there's lots of picture books about Delaware. Cereal and coffee, la la la. Here's the thing. I grew up in California, in Southern California, and the only exposure I had for most of my life to the rest of the states was via my puzzle of the states.
Okay.
Which was, just
With
a little-
wooden block one?
Yeah. Well, no, mine was cardboard. I was a little bit more advanced.
He's
Tony
a
over
regular giggle puss.
And then it's like, here's the states, and then there's like this jumble of teeny tiny pieces that kind of resembled state type shapes that you just like, I think these all jam together somehow. So that's
I'm going to get you a Fisher Price
my-
wooden USA
that's
map
my
model.
understanding of the northeastern seaboard. Well, I've got Tony here.
I'm Tony. Delaware is not wicked cold.
No, it's below Massachusetts, right?
Far below Massachusetts.
I don't spend time up there, man.
Delacrucian.
Or Delawinese.
I like that. Delacrucian.
Delacrucian is cool. man.
Delacrucian? Okay. Yeah, I guess so. I
Geography
know where everything
quiz?
else is. I get confused with Delaware, Connecticut, Maryland, Maine, New York, all that business. What am I leaving out? New Jersey.
No, New Jersey's not really New England.
It isn't?
No.
Yes, it is.
New Jersey is not New England. What is wrong
You guys
with
have
you?
to arm
like-
wrestle over this or something.
Isn't like everything above North Carolina, New England?
No.
Would you like us to go by John Anthony or what?
Oh, John
Anthony.
is totally fine.
Okay.
John is totally cool.
I want to call you Anthony
Steve.
John.
We'll just go with Steve.
Steve is cool.
Rhode Island. I forgot about Rhode
How
Island.
could Vermont,
Vermont.
Maine?
Yes. That's New England too?
Maine is considered New England.
Okay.
Yes.
So
They-
New Jersey and New York just said, nah, screw you guys.
I'm hydrating right now. Good old fashioned Delaware tap water.
Oh my. You got good tap
Yeah.
water in Delaware?
Oh no.
That makes Delaware really not part of anything.
I don't know. Is Delaware considered New England?
No, I think we're mid Atlantic.
Yeah, Mid-Atlantic. There you go. Your
Now I'm gonna edit
tour
this
gear
part.
design.
I'm gonna edit this part.
Cable into the quarter
This
inch.
is the part that I edit.
Yeah.
Like Atlantic City.
Well, I guess you would
By way
consider.
of Atlantic City by way of the Atlantic Ocean.
Yeah, I guess you would. I guess you would call New Jersey Mid-Atlantic as well
Okay.
as New York.
All right. So what else is in the mid-Atlantic there?
what he was trying to say is not with that attitude you can.
Yes. You got New Jersey,
Virginia,
Rhode Island. No, Rhode Island.
DC.
Yeah, Virginia goes all the way to the ocean, right?
You're going too far north again, man.
I gotta get a map. That's my weakness. I can't be. I have to have some faults, Tony.
Yeah, I guess so.
Like British Columbia.
Yeah, exactly.
I know where that is. I've been there.
Oh,
Yeah.
Canada.
All right. That's up by Alaska.
Oh my God.
How are we? Are we plus minus 1,000 edits?
And away we go.
Well, that's it for these knobs. Please visit our Patreon page at patreon.com/
facebook.com/theguitarknobs. Visit our website at theguitarknobs.com for all of our past episodes, 4 on the Floor blog, and other good stuff. You can connect with us on social too at our Facebook page and share your gear and stories on our Facebook group. Also, be sure to check out our Instagram at Guitar Knobs. Catch you next time.